Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roosmarie Ruigrok. I work for the municipality of Amsterdam, and I am also an independent textile expert in circularity for more than 20 years. And 40 years, this month, 40 years in fashion and textiles. Since 1.5 years, I work for this municipality of Amsterdam as a project lead of the Reflow project. The Reflow project is a European project where we are researching material flows in different kinds of cities. And the partners in Amsterdam are De Waag, the municipality, Pakhuis de Zwijger, BMA Techne, and Metropole. Like I say, there are 6 cities, and they have everyone. They investigate and research their own materials. And in Amsterdam, we do textiles. The Reflow project focused not only on the materials as a material, but also what happens with the people inside, so the people side business. Yes, the materials, what we can do from the governance, and what we can do in technology. Where we can start from. 1.5 years ago, we did a material flow chart. So we investigate what comes in the Netherlands and textiles and what kind of materials. So we have cotton, polyesters, wool, etc. And on this material flow, you can see what comes in the Netherlands. And here you can see what we find in the textile bins and in the waste bins in Amsterdam, because the Reflow projects focus on textile, focus on Amsterdam, and where it goes. So, end of life and where it goes, and there we can do the change. So, only in Amsterdam, not in the Metropole of region of Amsterdam, but in Amsterdam, 11,000 tons of textiles are incinerated. And goes also to places where we don't know where it goes. Although we know a little bit, but not enough. And that's a pity, because we want to research how we can reflow materials within a city. So, last year we started in Amsterdam, and there was the pandemic. And all the textile bins were closed in that moment, but where to go with that textile? So it was very visible when we rent a space in Amsterdam, and we placed there all the textiles from the textile bin. And that was, 150 tons of textiles only in a few months. So that made very visible that we had to do something with it. Not only when it's discarded, but probably also before. So therefore we arranged a textile wheel, and the starting point is also from discarding the textiles and who is inside of this eco chain. And we mapped in Amsterdam everyone we knew, everyone who stepped in because they heard about the Reflow project. And we create online events, and we start to talk, to have the discussions. And from June last year, we invent the Monday Laundry Days, the Maandag Wasdagen. And from this information, we create groups, because there was a lot of questions and a lot of topics people want to address. So there was, of course, the discussion about the healthcare accounts, which we're using in the textile, in the pandemic, in the healthcare industry, but so much more, also hotel linen, workwear, but also how we can reach consumers and end users. So there you need a strategy, and the strategy is you can only make with a lot of stakeholders. We spoke with a lot of creative designers on design for circularity. We spoke with a lot of citizens. What do you need? What do you know more? So we had a survey under the citizens of Amsterdam, what they know, what happens with the textiles in the textile bin. Very nice. So we talked with a lot of policymakers, as you can heard also before with previous speakers, of course with the textile industry, and all the circular initiatives we already have in the Netherlands. And we call them circular heroes because we have a lot to do together. Meanwhile, we did also a research, and it's all written in a nice booklet. The booklet is possible to download, but on our stand you can also catch a physical one. And it's very interesting because what I heard one question before, repair, where it stands in the complete line of circularity. And we found out that from all our clothes who are in our closet, 30% we do not wear because it's needed to be repaired. So that was a nice, one of the nice outcomes of the of the research we did. So we had a live cast, all you can see in back on the Pakhuis de Zwijger website. When you do a hashtag reflow, you can see all those 10 live casts in back. Very interesting if you want to dive deep in it. We had a hands-on workshop with students, with children in the schools, in the collaboration with the Textile race. They are also here. A lot of panel discussions and the research with academies. Then we grab everything together and what is needed if we want to go to 2050 to become 100% circular. You need a roadmap. Who is inside, who you need. And therefore I want to introduce Marten Boels. He is from the Metropole region of Amsterdam. And we worked together lately on the roadmap in the Metropole region of Amsterdam. So not only on Amsterdam, but a big one. So tell us, what is the Metropole region of Amsterdam?
Yeah, the Amsterdam metropolitan area, which is the English term, of course, comprises of 32 municipalities around Amsterdam. Amsterdam being the biggest, but also Almere, which is also quite a big municipality, and the 2 provinces, Noord-Holland and Flevoland. So it's a really big collection of all kinds of governmental organizations. That's the Amsterdam metropolitan area.
And we met 1.5 years ago, and we sit there with the Amsterdam Economic Board, with the municipality, and with you. So what drove you, together with the Reflow project, into the steps you are making now?
Yeah, well, this whole idea of the focus on 2050 being 100% circular made us think about, yeah, well, if we want to be one of the forerunners on circular textiles in our region, we need to have this 100% a little bit earlier on. So we said, well, this needs to be there in 2030, so that's only 8 years away. Huh? So a lot of work still needs to be done, also how to measure. But the important thing is we wanted to do more. The governments in the Netherlands have a role in the waste collection, and also in what is going to be done with the waste that is being collected. But after that, this whole circle, the textile wheel, we didn't know which parties are involved in this whole chain. And therefore, it was really great that was the moment that you stepped in from the Reflow project, because you knew all these people in the whole textile chain, and we didn't. So that was really helpful.
So the stakeholder mapping was very important, and so to catch the textile wheel, who is inside. Also, when we speak about the donut economy, so in or smaller cities, it's very important who is in and with who you can collaborate. What are the next steps? So I know that end of the year we will have a roadmap, and you can tell us more about what's inside of that roadmap.
Yeah, what the roadmap basically is a collection of projects around circular textile. We invented 3 lines of action in this roadmap that has to focus on 2030, so a little bit further on. And these action lines are, in the first 2 years, are going to be translated into 10 projects. So the action lines are being, we want to show what we are doing, we want to focus on making circular textiles, so really the making process, and we need to do something about research. So within these 3 action lines, all these parties that you told about Monday Laundry Day, they basically said, well, we want to do this, we want to do that, and we want to bring that together. So the governments are focusing on collecting more separate textiles, doing more on the collaboration and using a manual for circular procurement. And then to go further in the textile wheel, we have, of course, Wieland Textiles, which is really an important factor in the whole International Center for Circular Textiles in Zaanstad. Then we have of course, the gowns, the circular gowns, which is one of the projects. We have the hotel linen, we have the denim deal, well, which you know all about, of course. We have a project focused on repair, a shared service center for repair. So basically a business to consumer, business to business model where clothes are being repaired and then being brought back again to the consumer. We have a focus on, of course, the schooling. We have the Amphi Institute in Amsterdam, so we also want to have them working on the circular approach on how to design new circular clothes. So we have basically 10 projects for the coming 1 to 2 years, and after that we still need more. So if you feel welcome, please feel welcome to join in, and please feel welcome, however small your project or your idea is, to join in our bigger roadmap, because it's still a working document.
Exactly. But what was nice of the laundry days, that was for me very nice to know, because I'm so long in this field, and also to putting them together, we found out that even they did not know each other. So there were also some people that you think they are in circularity, they are in the industry, but they never visit a Symphony, who's our collector in Amsterdam, and they never were inside. They never saw how it is done. When you see that Symphony is collecting all the textile in textile bins, it goes to the first stop, and there all this waste, it's not textile, has to come out, and it's done by hands, it's done by humans. And I have a really, really deep respect to see it, because in this textile collecting, you don't only see iron machines or hair dryers, but also normal waste. And to know that in the normal waste, they drop also many times in the textile bin, and then most of the time all the textiles from that textile bin, you can't use it anymore. And this is also what you are going to sign in the MRA on the 15th of October, to make people aware that they don't have to do it, because to collect better and with a higher better and higher quality, the more you can do at the end because we talk about the next step, and this is also one of an important part, to collaborate with all the cities.
The interesting part is that all the cities and municipalities have their own responsibility, so they tend not to talk to each other all that much, because there are too many. And what we found out is that with all the collected knowledge, we found out, well, you definitely shouldn't put your textiles collection into a waste bin that's underground, because if you do that, people think this is a normal waste bin. So they tend to throw in their normal household garbage. Yeah, and if you do that, it's going to get wet, so you basically can throw everything away. So that was one of the things that is so obvious, but still needs to be said, being told, and still needs to be said, well, you really shouldn't put it on the ground. Just do a normal container or make it a door-to-door collection. Everything works better than that. And so therefore we're trying to double the amount of household textiles being separately collected in the MRA, which is, well, Amsterdam was not the best municipality in the Netherlands, to be honest, but still we are going to go from 3.5 kilograms to 7, and that's quite a lot. So we hope that more than half of all the textiles that are being put out in the market are going to be collected separately. that's one of the deals. Yeah.
And at the meanwhile, we have to force also designers to design for circularity, longevity on clothes, so better materials, better shapes, better sizes, better production-wise, also on the social part, that we can have circularity. And what is nice, Ruud said it earlier in this MRA booklet for how to buy as a governance buyer. Also to look at that clothes are ready to make to repair, because also a lot of clothes you can't even repair. Think about a winter jacket; it's very hard to get a new zipper inside of that. So we force also the industry to do better.
Yeah, at least do our part as governments to in circular procurement. At least do that small part. It's also not that not a big a deal, but still it's important to show to the industry what we think that needs to be done. And this booklet is really really handy, and you can, as a government, use it really easily. So there's basically no argument left not to use it. So if you're a government or you all live in a municipality, of course, somewhere, please say there's a booklet, use it, because well, everything is in there.
Okay, and last shout out to the people. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, for me, and we this is the fourth time we are meeting each other live. So it's every time it's very special to me. And the interesting part is that what we're doing in our region is, well, quite do everything in the whole textile wheel. Not only one part, not only this part. No, everything all together. And this is going to be interesting how to govern this whole business model. It's interesting how to keep getting people to get to know each other. We need reflow, hopefully also after May when the project is over, because this is really important, that people are meeting each other, that a circular textile day like this is also important, because you're definitely not going to know your neighbors in the whole textile chain if you're not having events like this.
Yeah.
So this is the real shout out. Keep the energy going.
And if someone wants to know what we are doing with the Amsterdam Economic Board on all these 10 topics, please contact the Amsterdam Economic Board, and they send you to the person who is on that topic. Give a tip, we work on hotel linen, we work on a circular yarn innovation center, we work on in a knowledge center with all these educations in the region. We work on this health gowns, an awareness campaign. So if you have another idea, please join us. And
the more the merrier.
Sure. Okay, thank you very much. And maybe someone has a question? Yeah?
You obviously made a choice as a municipality and within the reflow project to go on different strategies, so to go for research and so on and so forth. My question now is, how are you planning to include the fashion industry itself, so the big players that have quite a big impact as well, going forward? And by that I mean, how are you planning to hold them accountable also for their outcomes? Because a booklet is great, but they don't have to write a bite just yet. How are you planning to hold them accountable, and how are you planning to include them to also be part of the solution?
Well, there are quite a lot of policy oriented strategies to do this. But the first step, if you want to work together, you basically also have to. Can you repeat the question? Yeah. The question was, how are we going to get the bigger brands that are also mostly based in Amsterdam to work with us on this whole undertaking on circular textiles? Thank you. Basically, well, if I understand your question correctly, basically to let them work for us in a circular textile way, and my answer would be it's twofold. One is the policy idea. We're talking about a extended producer responsibility in the Netherlands. So that is a strategy to work together in a closed system, and the other one being just talk with them, because most of these brands want to do something as well. They know what's happening. They know that consumers in general are getting more and more picky about where the textiles are being produced and what's being done after usage. So they know this is happening. They are also looking in how should we do this, how and where and what, if I understand correctly. And of course, it helps if we as combined governments also say, well, this is the way forward. We're going to work on this until we are there with 100% circular in 2030, hopefully, but perhaps a little bit later, but that's fine as well. But the important thing is, if we say we're going to work on this, we're going to help in this collaboration, we're going to do a reflow 2.0, so to say, then they tend to just work along because they want to join and they also want to do something.
Transparency and the upcoming EPR, the extended producer responsibility, will be the change we are waiting for, I think. But we have to do it together, and from the heart, you have to make steps. But therefore, it is the Circular Textile Days. So,
Precisely.
Thank you. Maybe there's some online, someone? No. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.